This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Get 2 times membership rewards points per dollar on eligible purchases in key business categories, as well as on each eligible purchase of $5,000 or more, on up to $2 million in eligible purchases per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
And this week, best of the podcast. So kind of looking back over the last few months. And you've heard some of the world's truly extraordinary from musicians who have, cheesy, but it's true, they've moved our souls. Think about music, and if it wasn't in your life, how you'd feel. Professional athletes who have pushed your expectation of what humans can achieve. Entertainers who keep us coming back for more. So we'd like to take a chance and highlight these visits every 3-4 months kind of thing and look back on what's happened. My name is Todd Hancock, as mentioned. This is a great way to get an overall feel and I guess a vibe of what we do with this podcast. And if you're a regular listener, it's a good recap of why you've chosen to be here in the first place, right? Memorable moments from our guests, revisiting the wisdom, the insights, the stories that they shared. I guess you could kind of look at this week as a celebration of these diverse talents, right? And how they impact your life. So we'll get to some sporting and entertainment guests later on in the podcast. You'll hear highlights from recent musical guests of the Last Little While in just a little bit. After I tell you about this week's Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, fighter Megan Anderson talking about enrolling kids in MMA. That is powered by FKP MMA. Learn self-defense and build your self-esteem, meet new friends. You get fit doing it. It's a good thing all around. My little guy Levi is not so little anymore, but he's getting big. He's been going for, I think it's close to a couple of years now. It's coming up on a couple of years. He loves it. Find out why. Vancouver's #1 training destination. Bigfoot Machado, a heavyweight for the UFC, also trains there. So a little heads up for that as well. Maybe you'll even meet him one of these days. Train at FKPMMA.com. First, let's get to some highlights from recent musical guest visits. You've heard the term supergroup since, well, I maybe not since, but maybe you weren't born in the late 60s, but it's been tossed around since then with like Cream, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Blind Faith, Zeppelin, I guess to a certain degree. That's all late 60s, right? But then you get into Bad Company, Traveling Wilburys, Temple of the Dog, Mad Season, Audio Slave, Prophets of Rage, like they've been around forever and they will continue. More recently, Saint Asonia. They've been around since 2015. Love this band. Love the players in this band. So Adam Gontier, original singer for 3 Days Grace, with Stained guitarist Mike Mushock. Originally, they had formed with Finger 11 drummer Rich Bedeau. Then it went to Sal from Stained. He took over the drum duties, but now present day, it's Art of Dying's Cody Watkins as the drummer of Saint Asonia. Follow along. Original bassist Corey Lowry from Dark New Day, he left to play in Seether. And then Adam's cousin, Cale Gontier, who plays also in Art of Dying, he rounds out the band. So listen to who Adam said were his biggest influences and his favorites, might I add, when it came to singing.
Yeah, I think singing wise, like the best for me, is probably Jeff Buckley. I think just his ability was incredible. He could scream and sing and do insane high falsetto stuff, but all those like Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell and Lane Staley and Gord Downey and Jeff Buckley. I mean, those are probably just my top bunch there.
Mhm.
That's not not including the classic rock bands. You know, like there's so many good singers. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who do you put at
Yeah.
the top of the Seattle pile?
Well, probably Chris Cornell. Probably Chris Cornell or Eddie Vedder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie was a huge influence for me. Like when I was always, when we were doing our early demos and stuff, I was always trying to emulate that. When I was 14, I was like, I wanted to sound like Eddie. So he's right up there. The two of them are right up there.
And I wonder what it is about, Jeff Buckley, because so many people say that as well. And it's like, it's not that it's a Canadian thing, because it's not in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jeff Buckley is like, if you know who he is, you're like, oh wow, it's amazing you know who he is. But talk to people that are like from Toronto and Montreal, and like fucking everybody loves that guy.
Yeah.
What was it about his stuff, I wonder?
He was just, I think he was so unique, and he was just doing something that nobody was doing at the time. And I mean, he didn't really necessarily like blow up huge, and I think he was on the verge of that happening, when he died. But yeah, I think it's just the power and control and the ability he had vocally was, I mean, it was amazing.
It's cool to hear who Adam puts in his top, hey? Another project you should look into that Adam's been doing is, it's called Divided By, but there's an extra I. Is it the V? No, it's an extra I in the Divided By. And that's with Human Kebab from USS, which of course USS is a great band as well. I've loved Adam's work since the first time hearing it. I remember I heard I Hate Everything About You. I'm driving in my car and I'm on, at the time I'm on the way to work when I was doing the afternoon show at 99.3 The Fox here in Vancouver. And I was thinking, who the hell is this? As you know, Adam has had incredible success with his time in 3 Days Grace, like huge world tours, Juno Awards, something like 12, maybe more number one songs, career highlights. I mean, they are everywhere for him.
There's been a bunch. I mean, I'm pretty grateful for a lot of stuff that we've done and we've accomplished. I think probably playing, we played a festival in Brazil. It was years and years and years ago with 3 Days Grace. I think it was probably like 2003 or 2004. There was like 30,000 people at this festival, and we were the only international band. So it was all Brazilian bands that we had never heard of before. And it was just an insane festival show, just people as far as we could see. So that was pretty crazy. I think that probably stands out. The other thing that stands out is playing with the Rolling Stones in Regina 2 nights years ago too. That was a big one for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And so like, what's that after you're done the show? Are you like watching side stage? You have seats? Like what happens after that? I think if I remember right, we watched from front of house where the soundboard was. I think there was a blocked off little area or whatever that we could, that we could stand there and watch from. But we met the Stones for literally 5 minutes on the second night. It was pretty brief. They just, their people asked if we wanted to meet them. We said, sure. And they came in, they kind of herded us in, and we just got a picture and then split. They were super nice, for the couple minutes or whatever. But I'd say that was a highlight for sure. It will shift gears from one of rock's best frontmen to a Canadian country rocker, a singer-songwriter named Cory Marks. So he made my radar, like it was earlier in the year, because he had met up with Motley Crue's guitarist Mick Mars, and I guess they were listening to Mick's new or upcoming solo album, and Mick played on one of Cory's tracks actually years back in 2015 called Outlaws and Outsiders. That was with Travis Tritt and Ivan from Five Finger Death Punch. Interesting array of artists on that song, eh? Like, so I had to find out which 3 albums Cory would need if he was stuck on a deserted island.
Oh, 3 albums. Oh man. That'd be good. It'd probably be like 2112. Rush, gotta have Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Merle Haggard's greatest hits album. And I'd probably man, that's tough.
Right.
That's tough.
I don't know that I
don't
can.
know. I'm stuck between like Bryan Adams and Def Leppard.
Oh,
yeah.
What's the best Def Leppard album?
Man, I couldn't even tell you that either. Cause I love just different songs on, there's some songs that just really hit me that just, just stick with me, that make them great. But I couldn't tell you.
The answer is Pyromania, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can go with that one.
Right? Isn't that such a great way to find out what somebody's like musically, right? Those 3 albums tell you a lot about someone's taste in music, but just really cool. Just a talented guy. Cory Marks is beyond Mick Mars, Travis Tritt, Ivan Moody. He's done songs with Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man, Lizzie from Hailstorm. He is Canada's first country artist to have a top 10 song at US rock radio. Crazy, right? His new album has streamed, I think it's close to 200 million times now, or getting close to it. He's toured last fall with Five Finger Death Punch, Brantley Gilbert. So what's his career highlight, thinking about all of that stuff?
You know what? I'll say one career highlight. There's been many, but I'm going to say being the first ever Canadian country artist to have a U.S. top 10 at rock radio. And it also gave Travis Tritt his first U.S. top 10 at rock radio, which was pretty awesome. And Ivan Moody's first country hit. And I'll never forget, he outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, before he was walking back on his bus before the show, he said hi to my dad and everything. And as we're walking back to my bus, and he's going back to his, he says, "Hey, man, wait a second. I never got a chance to thank you." I said, "For what, man?" He's like, "Thanks for giving me my first ever country hit, me considered into, country music and a top 10 and a gold record." I was like, "Holy shit. Wow." So that was pretty cool.
So how do you
the fact that they're all stoked on that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. How do you find out about that? Is that your manager, or like who tells you that you're top 10?
Well,
anybody
it's
tell
just
you
like, no, well, it's like the like that I'm the first to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just figured it out. I mean, there's no one else who's done it. I mean, there's we consider the fact that Dallas Smith is, a singer default, right? But
another good buddy, yeah.
Yeah, so like a guy like him, where he definitely they went number 1, I believe, multiple times in the States at rock radio.
Well, him and Joey Moy. Do you know Joey?
Yeah.
Another good buddy. So, like, holy fuck, can that kid write? Can that kid produce? Like,
yeah. Actually, I don't think I've ever met Joey, but obviously I'm very aware of his success and his what he's been doing. But I think Dallas is the as a he did it with Default as a rock band, right?
Right.
But as a solo Canadian country artist,
that's amazing.
Amazing. So I'm pretty, I just think it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's changing that lane a little bit. So hopefully that kind of stuff just keeps happening.
And from one of Canada's hottest country rockers to an up-and-coming indie artist now based in Toronto, they're called Coster. So you'll remember the band The Followays. Like this podcast, potentially, I mean, we played the hell out of those. I want to put a number on it. It was got to be at least 20, 30, 40 times we played The Followays. Great band. Great Vancouver band, but, like bands tend to do, they broke up, right? So their singer, Jason Coster, Jay, moves to Toronto, befriends Broken Love, who are one of my favorite Canadian, not just Canadians, one of my favorite rock bands of the last 10 years. Broken Love, it's BRKN, Broken Love. I guess they don't want the vowels in the first. But anyway, he meets Broken Love and starts up the band Coster, signs a distribution deal, and you'll be hearing a lot about this band in the years to come.
I mean, like, I guess high school, I started playing drums first. So me and my buddy would kind of like play all the arts festivals and stuff in high school. And I was playing drums mostly. And then when I was getting into like grade 11 and 12, I started kind of playing guitar. Like, I'm not a great guitar player. I'm never going to be a great guitar player. I can write cool riffs and I can write the structures of the song. And I think, I'm getting great at songwriting, and that's kind of what I want to put my focus into anyways. And obviously my vocals. But that's kind of how it was in high school. And then I went to college, and in college I actually started playing in a band playing drums. So I took that pretty seriously, and the band was good. Like, the band was really good. And I thought the band was going to go places. And then we got all these great songs together. Like, we had good songs, the Blackbirds. And then the band just broke up. All the guys were fighting, and the band just broke up. And it bummed me out to the point where I was like, I'm going to fucking do this myself. Like, I'm going to sing. I'm going to write the songs. I'm going to spearhead the operation, right? And then that's kind of when the songwriter part of it took off a bit. I mean, like, over that time, I probably wrote, 150 terrible songs and maybe 5 good ones, right? Like, there's a lot of there's a lot of progress that comes with it, but I think the main thing is just that I haven't quit.
Yeah, it's great to catch up with Jay, and like, truly no surprise that music has kind of always been at the forefront of this kid. Coster now. We hung out actually for a little bit at that, was it Bluestone's Broken Love show, the Vogue Theater, earlier this year here in Vancouver. No surprise to see, like I say, and Jay slide into that scene in Toronto. The kid is uber talented. So we'll let it slide that he's a fan of the Calgary Flames. Listen to Coster talking about the transition from the Followays here in Vancouver to his new band, Coster, and Toronto's music scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Followays, kind of everybody kind of dissolved out of that situation, and it left me... there's a while where I kind of wanted to keep the Followays going, and, I was kind of just picking up the broken pieces, but I realized pretty quick that it's just better if I do my own thing, because then I can do it on my own time. I kind of got in the whole Followays thing as well. Like, I was putting the most effort into it, and that kind of creates a little bit of separation between the band as well, right? If one person's putting more in. So this way is great. Like, it puts more financial stress on me in a sense, but like, I surround myself, especially here, like, I'm surrounding myself with people that really like make a difference. Like, the amount of progress that I've made since moving to Toronto is like more progress than I made in 5 or 6 years before that. So it's pretty crazy in that sense. But yeah, it's nice because now I get to hire my guys. I got to pick my guys. And there's no messing around. And to the, working with Justin from Broken Love, working with Cone from Sum 41. I got Leon from the Lazies. Like, I got Greg, my manager, like all these amazing, even the people that I'm living with right now, like Johnny, I'm in Johnny's room right now. His parents, Jim and Judy, I'm living with them. And like, Jim's an incredible guitar player. So every time I have a song idea or something, Johnny's a great producer, engineer. We get these awesome demos together, and it's just, it's really, it's adding up very quickly.
Red Truck Beer. Nothing delivers like a red truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
you're doing to my mind. How's it so easy for you to lie? Tell me you need me and turn around and leave me high and dry. How's it so easy for you to lie? Say that you're lonely, even though you got me by your side. How's it so easy for you to lie? How's it so easy for you to lie? Keep that in mind for the next time. Oh, the next time. Keep that in mind for the next time. Yeah. Oh, the next time.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
MMA fighter Megan Anderson lost her first pro fight back in November 2013, didn't let it discourage her, and went on to become the Invicta FC featherweight champion. She fights in the UFC, last time back in March 21, fighting for the title shot for the featherweight contender. Didn't win, lost that fight, and hasn't fought since. Megan's from Australia, living in the States. She's now an ESPN UFC analyst. And great to get her on the podcast before she blew up, talking about all things fight, of course, but got into the music that was around when she was growing up, what she remembers about her first concert, growing up down under, family, and stop me if you've heard this before. Megan talked about if it's ever too early to start kids down the MMA path.
I don't know. It's not really something I think about, I guess. I think it's good for kids with self-esteem issues, or they're getting bullied, or they're not really making many friends, because I think it gives them that confidence. Like, I myself am not a big kid person, but when I see, young kids and like growing up in the sport and they're, turning into these little beasts, I'm like, yes, I can't wait to see them in 10, 15 years time. Like, if they stick with it, they're going to be incredible.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com.
And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit canadianclub.com today.
right. That's La Chinga, and a new song for them. It's new for the podcast as well. It's called Light It Up, and I bet you will see that one at our next live show. So it's at the end of November on Friday, November 24th. La Chinga and Worse are playing together. Worse is one of the bands, one of the new bands that Pride Tiger singer Matt Wood has put together. So you'll hear something from those guys later on in the podcast. So it's La Chinga, Worse, the Toddcast podcast, Blue Light Sessions. You know the drill, right? So it's 60 people pack in the room, the Blue Light Studio, East Vancouver, intimate shows, interactive shows. While I will be hosting the event, you get to ask questions of the band as well, or whatever it is, suggest songs for them to play, that sort of thing, right? Each band gets a 45-minute set. You can pick up tickets right now for $20 through eventbrite.ca, BRITE.ca. Search out Toddcast. You can't miss the shows. You heard a band called Spendo as well. And I mean, this is one of last year's best indie rock tracks, hands down, certainly top 10, probably top 5 at least. Easy to Lie. Great song from these guys. And these boys have been up to, they've had quite the year, playing lots of shows first off, lots of kilometers on the odometer, and good on them too. Easily one of Vancouver's best. Like I said, expect big things out of Spendo in 24. All right, coming up in just a few minutes in Listen to This. Dirty Honey singer Mark LaBelle. This guy shares the craziest grizzly bear story. I was going to just say bear story, but grizzly bear story of all bears. It's a near-death story later on with Mark. That is powered by 6 straight years sponsor Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. Love them, of course. RV service, repairs, ICBC accredited. You can find them on TedcoRVSupplies.com. Also on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, some highlights from recent sporting guests of the Last Little While, powered by Hand Over Hand Textiles in Vancouver. Naturally dyed goods for your home, for your body. We're talking shirts and scarves and pillowcases, all the stuff you'd expect, right? Bandanas and socks and dishcloths and a whole bunch more. You'll love the work because, first off, it's great quality, top notch. But the best thing is it's good for Mother Earth. Like the footprint is like non-existent. They use pure plant extracts, natural fibers, locally owned here in Vancouver, locally operated. Find them on Instagram and also through handoverhandtextiles.com. All right, good for gifts or stuff like that. So Adam Macko just played his first season with the Vancouver Canadians, the farm team, the minors for the Toronto Blue Jays. He was named Pitcher of the Week in the final regular season start, pitching 5 no-hit innings, which is great. Adam was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 7th round back in 19 in the MLB draft. Baseball is just something that's always been in his life.
It was like first day of school. I was just big-eyed, like, what the hell is going on? Like, where's my mom? Like, first grade 1, like, we're kind of walking around. Towards the end of the day, we went outside and there were a couple tryouts. I don't know if they were for other teams as well and other sports, but we went and like hit some baseballs off a tee. I don't even think they were baseballs. And we like played catch and all my friends were kind of
wiffle balls or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all my friends kind of moved as a mob, like walking from station to station. And we all decided like this was the sport that we're going to play. Yeah. And had no idea what it was, really, none of us. We just kind of had fun, and it was like, whatever, like we'll sign up for it. And yeah, it's always been just having fun with my friends and playing catch. And then once like we kind of got into the season, I guess you would call it, but it was just an extracurricular activity. We're playing inside on gyms, and our bases were gym mats, and we were just hitting the ball off a tee and kind of chasing each other with it. So it was pretty fun.
I love hearing those kind of stories, the early days stories of people's lives, like regardless if it's music or entertainment or sports. I love it. And interesting to hear Adam talk about how the COVID lockdown, he came out of that the other side. He said he was a stronger player, despite not playing, of course, during that time.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic was crazy for everybody. I mean, it's for some people, it really did kind of derail their career because just didn't have the amenities, or some guys were going through rehab and it wasn't the easiest to always get their stuff done and all that stuff. But for some people, I feel like myself, there's a lot that I learned about myself that I didn't really know before the pandemic. Like all the gyms were shut down, couldn't work out. So I just kind of did my own at home workouts. I was pushing my car in the backyard. I was running up and down hills, like just getting in whatever I could. And it was mostly like speed work. And I was long tossing with my friend every day because I was like, I don't have anything to prepare for. So I just long toss like almost every day. Don't recommend this at all, but just got after with one of my friends that was at home, and I gained like almost 10 miles an hour or something like that. Like that was one of the best things that happened to my career, was being able to kind of step away from the game and just get after it for a year and see where that takes me. And once I got back to the gyms, despite not being in the gyms at all, I set record like PRs, like personal records on all my lifts, like basically the first day in the gym. And I was like, wow, like this is something I've never done before, didn't expect at all. And then I got on the mound and was 6-7 miles an hour harder.
Wow, that's great.
So I think, yeah, it really, really helped my career. Very unfortunate, obviously, in terms of what happened to the world and how that kind of affected us. But in terms of baseball and how I've progressed, that was one of the best things that could have happened to me.
And we'll go from a rising star in baseball to personal trainer Annie Angioli, who's also a part owner in Everyday Athletes Gym here in Vancouver, if you know that gym. You need some motivation, you're getting it.
People have some intrinsic motivation if they sign up for personal training and pay the money for it. There is some, like, they're taking action with themselves to do that. So I don't know if you've heard of the trans-theoretical model of change before, but there's like your pre-contemplation phase where you haven't even thought of making a change with yourself, and then contemplation, and then you start to take action, and then basically you can slip back, mess up a little bit, and then you can go on. So it's not like a linear thing. You can kind of go back and forth between that. But I like to think of people that are signing up for training or starting the fitness program really in that action phase. So they do have some kind of motivation. And if you can go back to why they started and what's important for them to make that change in the first place, then you can really keep people going. Because if it's just to say, lose weight because your doctor said so, it's going to be really easy to quit because someone else is telling you. Whereas if I need to be able to walk up the stairs because I got to help my kids get ready for school in the morning and do something else throughout the day, or I got to be able to, wipe down the kitchen and cook and clean for myself and my family, then that's when you really can make a change for yourself. You got to find what's important for the person.
Yeah. So it's basically just a gentle reminder of the core of why they signed up to do it in the first place.
Totally. Yeah.
It's nice to know, right, that even people who regularly work out also kind of struggle here and there to find the motivation, right? It's good for you to get that reminder, though, I think, right? It's important to stay on top of your health and your fitness. I mean, as I get older, it's more and more in the back of my mind and more that I try to find the time to do it. But as we talk cheat foods with Annie as well, and we talked like meal prepping and planning, and the fact that you just need to make small changes to your everyday lifestyle to create positive change.
Like some people are like, oh, I got to run for 30 minutes or I got to do intervals or anything like that. But you really just have to move your body a little bit more than you are. And then you're exercising. So.
Right. And what do they say? It's something like, do it 20 times and it's a habit and you're off and running at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what's 20 times? That's like a month. That's a month, just Monday to Friday and take the weekends off.
Okay. Yeah, not even a month.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. And the cool thing is I think it's important for people to write down when they do stuff too. So just like the Google Calendar app, write down, be like, okay, I did this today, and then you get to look back at your whole month and be like, sweet. Okay. I accomplished that. Yeah. Or you know what? It's a good indication to be like, oh, maybe I only got in 10 of the 21 that I can do this time. Next month, I can do 15. So you can just have a barrier or a checkpoint to see where you're at and then track your progress over time.
And from a local fitness trainer back to baseball for a sec here. And this time it's with the Blue Jays minor league pitching coach in Joel Bonnett. What a beauty this guy is, right? So here's his post on LinkedIn, letting his network know that he took a job with the Blue Jays. He says, basically, after almost 5 years, I'm leaving Benedictine. This place was our home. My girls grew up in the stadium. The coaching staff was some of my best friends. The players made it easy to come to work every day. The support of the baseball program was undeniable. With that being said, I'd like to say that I'm accepting a job with the Toronto Blue Jays. Awesome post, right? His coaching philosophy, no doubt, is a key reason he got that job.
I think there's some stuff that, I tried to get into early, and then you couldn't really find the answers because you didn't have the numbers behind what you were looking for. And so one of the big things when I became a coach is, I wanted to be into the technology stuff and not just to spit numbers out to kids about, pitch profiles or, velos or whatever, spin rate, what all the catchwords are, but is to use those to make them better. And I think what we've done here in Vancouver and at all the other affiliates with the Blue Jays, we do a good job of, we have all the information behind us and we can look at all of it whenever we want. It's always at our fingertips, but it's how we take that information and digest it to the player. And so I think it's a big thing about being really quick with your words. We're not going to sit here for 15 minutes and discuss one factor of the fastball, for example. It's got to be really quick because the kids, they need information really quickly. And so I think some people in baseball, it's a one side or the other. It's new school, I'm old school. The numbers are killing it. They're killing the originality of the game. But I think we can use both of them and kind of merge them together to help the players. And sometimes, you see the numbers and they're great. You see the numbers, they're bad, but are you pitching well? Yeah. Well, that's fine right now. The competition is going to take over, the compete factor is going to take over, and we can worry about the numbers on another day. And so trying to bridge the gap of being a little bit old school, being a little bit new school.
Isn't it neat to get that inside scoop on things like this? So Joel's been coaching ball for just over a decade, I guess now. He was at Benedictine, as mentioned, the university there in Illinois, for almost 5 seasons before he signed with the Jays. Was at Hendrix College prior to that for a couple of years. Southwest Minnesota State University before that. Of course, he played baseball, before getting into coaching. So what's more gratifying, do you think? The player's perspective, or is it now as the coach?
I would say both, but there's some satisfaction. I think in the line of work that I'm doing now with the Blue Jays, it's a satisfaction to watch these guys continue to chase their dreams, as they start to move up and they leave Vancouver to go to AA. It's really cool to have those conversations and see how excited they are and kind of live I don't know. I always say I'm a helicopter dad living vicariously through all these guys. And you were going to accomplish your dreams and it's not about my dreams. It's about theirs. It's about them, so it's pretty cool. I think that's one of the things that really,
you watch it man, I showed him that. He knows that because of me. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think that's what kind of drives, the minor league thing is we play so many games that you're gone from home for 7 months. But when you get that kid that, whether he's a prospect or not, if you get him to AA, that fires you up and kind of keeps you recharged for the next one. And then it's, who else can we get going? And, and I think that's how it kind of works. And you keep it interesting every day.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
I've got a few bad habits I can't seem to shake, and I got way too many thoughts poisoned in my brain. And I got 18 months to 30, wishing my whole life away. plans, but they never seem to stick. I got a list on my log of all the things that I regret. And I've been drinking too much lately. I've been smoking and I'm on the upswing. And I've been dancing with the devil, and I know that only leads to one thing. I've been in hell playing with fire, 'cause I like a little heat. And I'll keep going even if it kills me. Laying my cards on the table has never been my specialty. And I've probably gonna make myself a fair few enemies. But now my days are growing numbered, carrying too much energy. And I've been drinking too much lately. I've been smoking and I'm on the upswing. And I've been dancing with the devil, and I know that only leads to one thing. I've been in hell playing with fire, 'cause I like a little heat. And I'll keep going even if it kills me. Even if it kills me. Even if it kills me. And I fight with fire, and I'm my own worst enemy. I've been drinking too much lately. I've been smoking and I'm on the upswing. I've been dancing with the devil, and I know that only leads to one thing. I've been in hell playing with fire, and I like that I've been drinking too much lately. I've been smoking and I'm on the upswing. Even if it kills I've been dancing with the devil, and I know that only leads to one thing. Well, I've been in hell playing with fire, 'cause I like a little heat. And I'll keep going even if it kills me.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Dirty Honey has been around since 2017, although they didn't release their debut until 2019. And it's incredible when you think, as an indie band, they've had a #1 song on Billboard's mainstream rock songs chart with When I'm Gone. Here's a band living the rock star life, opening up for Guns N' Roses, Kiss, The Who, The Black Crowes, and we had a great conversation with their singer Mark LaBelle, getting into the shows that he was binge watching at the time. We talked about aliens and visiting Earth, how they'd played an NHL Winter Classic, touring with Mammoth WVH, the Batman and the Green Book came up, so did Trimming Weed, Aerosmith, The Stones, and Mark shared a near-death story involving a grizzly bear. Listen to this.
Oh, yeah, I got a good one for you. I won't say I should have died.
Could
I definitely could have died in a horrible death. But I was in the mountains. I was in Wyoming. And my buddy and I, we were trying to photograph. I love wildlife photography, so grizzly bears, wolves, moose, whatever. Mostly grizzly bears and wolves. And so it was actually during COVID. We were like looking to get out of the house. We go to some of the national parks and buzz around that area, and obviously there's woodsy backcountry areas that aren't in the national parks, and you can see some stuff. So we go out into the backcountry, and we come across like a dead elk carcass, and there's just birds flying all over it. And that's usually a pretty good sign that like a wolf or like a grizz, something is coming to feed on it. So we like sit on it for like a day. We're just, keeping our distance, hoping something comes around, and we don't see anything. And, the next morning we wake up and I go and I'm like, I'm going to go check on the carcass, see if like something made on it overnight or whatever. And we parked probably 300 yards away from the kill site, we called it.
Yep.
And I'm walking towards this thing. I get like 50 yards away from it. And out of the corner of my eye, see 3 grizzly bears all on their hind legs looking at me walk towards their food. And I'm just like, holy shit. And you're not supposed to run.
No.
But what do? I was kind of in a position where I could see the bears, but my buddy who was back at our van couldn't. And I like turned back to him and I'm like, hey man, like grab the bear spray, grab the gun. And he's like, what? Couldn't hear me, couldn't understand me.
Grab that shit.
I was like, grab a fucking bear spray. He's like, what? And I just, in a split second decision, just decided I'm bolting to this van, and hopefully they get the memo that something serious is going on. And they did. And they're like pointing at me laughing. And they're like, why is he running? And I like, when I got into earshot of them, I was like, fucking grizzly bears, like, let's go. And we jumped into a Jeep nearby, and we kind of like rode over there safely. And these bears just like chilled with us for like 35, 40 minutes. And we got to photograph them, got some amazing photos. But
wow.
Yeah, I was running like for my life.
Yeah, you don't mess
At least
with
they weren't
bears
chasing me, but
and their food.
Yeah, that's like, they say that's like one of the 2 surefire ways like to get in a bad situation is like be in between a mother and their cubs, or be near a grizz while they're protecting a food source, and that's not good. So
I had a black bear chase me up in when I was living up in Terrace, northern BC, and it chased me for about 100 meters or so. But thankfully, I had probably about a 400 meter,
gap. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, man, my whole body, like even now telling the story, my whole, like every hair on my body was like,
yeah.
On end,
no,
man.
I'm sure.
I literally thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, I was right there with. I mean, in 3 grizz, like,
yeah,
I got it. I you don't have a chance against 1,
No. And what do you do? Like if it were to catch you, is it like the grizzlies? Are they like you ball up, or like what do you do for that?
You're supposed to just like cover the back of your neck, because they can't open their mouth too wide. They kind of have a pretty narrow gap. So I mean, like, they're obviously going to maul you and claw you, and that's obviously not good. But
yeah,
I mean, you probably don't have a chance if you wind up in that situation. But
probably not.
You're supposed to just ball up, cover your neck, and hope for the best, and not run, because they immediately think you're prey.
Wow.
But yeah, that's not good. You're supposed to have bear spray on you, and I usually do, and I just didn't in that one like 90-second circumstance, and I never again will go anywhere without it.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was wild.
Yep,
I got some good picks though. We got some good picks.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
me. I'm just taking a walk down Riff Central. The band is called Dead Quiet. I love that band. That's from their new album called 4. The song is No Gods, No Gold. You can catch them in December at the Rickshaw here in Vancouver. I believe they're the direct support for that Ancient show. I think, right? That's going to be a great night. So it's Ancients, Dead Quiet, Scalding, in 1982. You can pick up tickets for that one right now through orangeticket.ca. Orangeticket.ca. I played you Charlie P.S. and that was her summer smash called Even If It Kills Me. Great video, great song, and what a super fun live show. So Charlie played a show for us. I guess it was probably maybe 3 months back now, a few months anyway. Definitely worth going to see. If you hear Charlie P.S. playing a show near you, make a night of it. Grab some buddies and check it out. Speaking of the live scene, the live music, find a small list of shows that are happening locally here in Vancouver and the area with the indie scene. So it's through toddhancock.ca. It's not just our shows, of course, right? We're promoting our shows, but you would think that, like, check those shows out, but also give us a heads up if you're playing a show or seeing one. We'll post it up at the website if it's indie. So maybe even play a song on the podcast as well. Get you some free advertising for your show. Okay, to the final guest, this entertainment and lifestyle guest of the Last Little While. It's powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary. No doubt in my mind. I think that they're probably at a couple years sponsoring this podcast as well. The website is insane. It's intense. Like, it's that good. It's just like every friend that I put onto it, they're like, what the really? It's nuts. So they ship anywhere in Canada. So get oils and hash and all kinds of edibles, peyote, vapes, lollipops, shatter, of course, weed and mush, and literally think about it, they've got it, right? So at registry, though, keep this in mind. You need to do this the first time you sign on. So at registry, mention that you heard about them through this podcast. It will instantly upgrade your profile on their website. All right? So sacredmeds.com, sacredmeds.com. Hollywood Life senior editor Cassie Gill and I go back sometime. I would think it's probably about a decade or so. So it goes back to her time as a producer at CTV here in Vancouver. Now, Cassie's straight up, she's living the dream. She's in LA working with Bonnie Fuller, who is essentially her, let's say hero, but for lack of better words, it's her hero, covering celebrity, fashion, beauty, entertainment news, going to the red carpet events and the star-studded after parties.
It's a story. So Bonnie Fuller was one of my teenage idols, and I'm sure you're aware that she's also Canadian. She's a legend from the Six, from Toronto. And to me, she was really the blueprint, right? Like, she was one of the first editors to really go to New York, make it big, establish a name for herself. So for those of you who aren't familiar with her, she started as the editor-in-chief of Flair and then moved to New York. And among many of her accolades, she launched Marie Claire in the US. She was editor-in-chief of Cosmo. She also birthed Us Weekly as we know it. So if you ever catch yourself saying stars, they're just like us, that was Bonnie. And I'm very much of that Us Weekly generation. So I grew up reading Bonnie's letters from the editor and magazines that my mom had, and then obviously became a reader myself during the Us era. And then after that, she went and sort of rebranded Star Magazine. So I was really just a fan. It was someone who I had greatly admired, and in high school had kind of set this goal, one day I need to at least meet this woman, if not work with her. And during the 2010 Winter Olympics, actually heading into the gold medal game, I was 19. I had followed Bonnie on Twitter, and I had been interning during the Olympics, and she actually followed me back. Years later, I found out it's because she's such a sports fan. So she was curious about what was going on from someone on the ground. So our initial relationship actually started when I was in university as a college student, basically on Twitter. And I was going to a conference. Over the years, we had DM'd and kind of developed a bit of a rapport that way. But I was going to a conference in New York. So I thought, I'm just going to see if she would actually meet up with me. I think it would be just so fantastic to meet her. She's bucket list for me. And she responded right away and said, yes, I would love to do breakfast this time, this date. The funniest story was I wasn't really 100% sure about going to the conference. I had a media pass. It's a Create and Cultivate conference, so people in the influencer and creative spaces would know it. And it ended up being one of the best trips. So that was where we met in person. The job offer actually didn't come until about 2 years after that. And it was just a matter of keeping in touch with her, kind of letting her know what I was looking for. But I also knew, I would have to tread lightly just because I needed that support with the visa. And I'm so immensely grateful that Bonnie helped me out with that. But I'm also just grateful that it was actually through her and I had this opportunity to get to know her and work with her because she's been my boss now for the last 3 years.
What a cool story, right? Like meeting your hero. It turns out she's cool AF. You start working with her. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than that, right? So now that Cassie she's living the life she's always wanted to do, the one that she worked hard to create, and it's the big Oscar parties, it's going to Elton John's parties. Like, what is going on? What are her career highlights?
I would say certainly, and I just said this yesterday, I think I had the best Oscars year that I've ever had this past February. And the reason I think that is because that was a culmination of 5 years of networking and efforts all coming together. I still had to hustle to get into some of the big events, but at the same time, I feel like I had more access than I ever had. So it was kind of everything coming together in one neat bow, which started with my time at CTV and then, obviously paused during COVID and then picked back up. So certainly this past year, just with regards to getting to do the Elton John party, getting to do an Omega cocktail party, the Women in Film event, there was just some really, really good highlights this past year for that. I love saying past year when it was really like a month ago. So that would have been a major one. For me, like a life highlight truly, and you can laugh, has been just getting to know and working with Bonnie. Like, I can't even tell you, it says in my high school yearbook that was my dream to one day work for Bonnie Fuller. And I do. And it's hilarious because sometimes my phone will ring and I'll see it's Bonnie Fuller call incoming. And I'm like, who the fuck are you that Bonnie Fuller is calling you? So, it's
and
like,
she's
it's
super cool too, right?
And she's cool. I mean, yeah. So, and like I said, we get along really well. So, that for me has just was so bucket list. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And again, people can laugh at me, but it's true. And I feel like I manifested that. So do you feel like ultimately it was meant to be that Bonnie helped me with my immigration and was kind of the one to like get me to LA full time again?
From Hollywood Life's senior editor to Jacqueline Fae, the CEO and the founder of IDL, the I Deserve Love. She's the author of several books, including Attracting the Love of Your Life, 30-Day Manifestation Guide. She's also the fairy matchmaker, celebrity matchmaker, love expert.
So social media has changed the dating game in like a lot of ways. The first way is that everybody filters their pictures because Instagram has all these really cool filters now that I'm guilty of using myself.
Right.
And so all the girls have super filtered pictures, which is not so good for dating because you see these people and then when you meet them in person, they really don't look as much like their pictures as you were hoping they would. Mm-hmm. And it's no matter like how actually beautiful they are, it's like a little bit of a disappointment. So that's definitely changed things a lot. And then also, I think the fact that you can see what everybody's doing on social media is not helpful once you start dating somebody, because you can find pictures of them with their exes. You can find, you're like, oh, you said you couldn't meet last night, but you were at this party with blah, blah, blah instead. Like, you can really find out what people are doing.
Well, it's almost like when you get into a relationship, you want to ditch that stuff anyway. Like, what isn't the whole point of you being on social media is to maybe, or I guess if you're, looking to hook up or whatever, isn't that the whole point? Like, once you find, why would you even want to be on social media after that anyway?
Yeah, no, I agree. But, some people are on it for their work and stuff. I feel like there's a lot of influencers on social media in all different fields, which is interesting. Like a couple of my clients that I work with that are men are like plastic surgeons that are in the social media. So they're always like posting their before and after pictures and stuff. So, I mean, I think people are still on it, but I think that is a good point. I think it's just like early on in the relationship when people first start dating and they're still dating other people that they can see that on their social media.
As we tend to do with most of our guests, we covered a lot of ground with Jackie, talking about dating a friend's ex. Like, really? Who does that? Interesting what she said. The music of Johnny Cash, Meatloaf, Billy Joel. Why do we act the way that we do in relationships? Like, why do we pick the partners that we pick? She talked about the friend zone. superpowers, remembering dreams, which I never do, usually never, like I'd say 10% of the time at the most. She shared a near-death story, something that could happen to you, could happen to me, could literally happen to anyone. And being that Jacqueline started her career studying psychology with a focus on neuro-linguistic programming, say that 5 times fast, she shared the biggest mistakes and the red flags that most of us, like men and women, are making in the early stages of dating.
I think a lot of people play games, and you would think that, because everybody is, we match people from like 20s to 80s, and I see it happen. There's really no age group, but they'll be like, oh, I didn't text this person back because I thought I should wait a couple days because I didn't want to seem too interested. And then the other person gets annoyed because they're like, oh, they must not be interested in me. So I think a lot of times the game playing is what really just hinders people from having a true, authentic connection.
Mm. And what do you think are those red lights that, maybe we don't see because we're kind of, enamored, and at the very start, you kind of let shit slide that you necessarily wouldn't maybe a year or two into the relationship. But what are some of those red flags, like right out of the gate, that we're just kind of letting happen that it shouldn't happen?
I feel like people are lonely, and so they don't want to see these red flags because they really just want a relationship so bad. But the red flags are if you're on a first date and you guys are at a restaurant and one person is mean to the server, that is a red flag, because if they don't treat everybody the same, at some point you're going to be the person that they're going to be, treating unkindly. Yeah. So that's a big thing is not being nice. Another red flag that is really early on that you can see is that if they just keep talking about themselves, they don't ask you any questions, and they just literally talk about themselves the whole entire dinner, that's a narcissist, and that's going to be a tough relationship to be in. So those are a couple red flags. Also, if they're on their phone and they're texting, this is like a first date sort of thing. And they're texting. They're not even fully paying attention to you. Their eyes are wandering around the restaurant. These are red flags that you can see super early on.
Or the guy's checking out the waitress as she's walking away, placing the order, sketchy shit.
Yeah, that's a big red flag, is the wandering eye that you can see. Yeah.
And we'll transition from an author matchmaker to actress Darcy Donovan. You'll know Darcy from a lot of things like Anchorman, Modern Family, Parks and Rec, Bones, 6 Feet Under, Entourage, My Name is Earl, scratching the surface at this point, right? So many great roles, the big screen, the small screen. Listen to Darcy's take on quote unquote making it in the entertainment industry.
I worked on a soap for many, many years. That's kind of what, kind of got me where I was at. It's I came into LA and then I got immediately on a soap. And then from the soap, I got on other, shows, and then it just kept going and going and going. And I mean, even with Supernatural, Jensen Ackles, he's one of the main leads on Supernatural. And I mean, he started out on soaps. So, you don't ever know. There's no formula to the right way of, I call making it, so to speak, or getting in the public eye, because, Ricky Martin, he was on General Hospital. Demi Moore, right. Ricky Martin went to do just music. Really, that's what he does. And then Demi Moore, she went on to do great films and television shows. So, I really tell people it's about being professional and being a business person. You also have to be a people person. You deal with a lot of different personalities. It's a high pressure job. It's funny because, I want to be an actor. They just think that it's so easy to do. It's some people. And I'm like, oh, hell no. There's a lot of technicality. And then you're in front of people. You have to know where you stand. So it's if I'm looking at you right now, I may have to angle my body at an awkward position because I know where the camera is and deliver a line to you. So that can be extremely uncomfortable, but it's got to look comfortable on camera. So, even Robert De Niro talks, he always knows where the camera is, but he says it's like an extension of his right arm. And so, people think it's always glamorous too. It is not glamorous, folks. It is not glamorous. I repeat, it is not glamorous.
Final product is glamorous, but no, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a set and my eyeballs literally froze. Everybody's in parkas and they put me in a summer dress and we were in the desert. And I'm like, I'm going to die. This is how I'm going to die in the desert. My eyes are frozen now. I can't move. They literally had hot packs under my sundress. Mm. It was like, it's just one of those things where, you have to, you don't know what time. Sometimes you'll have a call time of being ready at like 2 or 3 p.m. Right. So 3 p.m. you got to be on set, and then we will not get done till 5 a.m. the next day or 6 a.m. And then, they're like, okay, well, you're going to sleep for maybe, 10 out, like 8 or 9 hours. And then we need you back on set at like 12. I mean, your hours get all crazy. I mean, I did one film, and unfortunately, I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day, but I did a film with D.B. Sweeney and I played a detective. And we filmed in Iowa.
It's so cool to hear somebody's take on stuff like that, right? Especially considering where they are and they've made it themselves, right? So Darcy was born in Florida, in Miami, raised in Nashville, Tennessee, has been Ms. Nashville, started acting, no surprise, you're not gonna be surprised, little kid, competing in the talent, the beauty competitions, everything else. Beyond acting, though, she's a platinum-selling recording artist. She's now producing her own projects, currently a movie with her NFT project called Star Dogs. That may be done actually by now, because when we talked, she was doing that. And she's super into the world of e-commerce as well.
Yeah, I get that a lot, because people are like, how are you, being in with what you're in? But you got to look at, Ashton Kutcher, and I mean, he's into a lot of different companies, and he's bought a lot of, different tech companies and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I would say a lot of the smart people, it's good to always, kind of branch out. I mean, I had a top guy in the business, he told me, he says, Darcy, it's good to diversify. He said, Bob Hope, people don't realize Bob Hope didn't make all his money from acting and movies and all that. And you got to think of how popular he was. He made his movie from real estate. He was a real estate mogul. So, I got into crypto, I would say about 6 years ago. It was kind of when it's still brand new too, but it was really brand new back then. And a friend of mine got into Cardano, and I saw that he was making some money. And so I was very interested, and I was like, well, how is he? Because he basically, doubled his income on that, and only 4% of the world even knows about crypto at that time. So I didn't know what the heck was going on. Mm-hmm. So I basically started looking into, other things and investing into like Bitcoin and Tron and Ethereum. And from that point, I started just kind of, there was a television show I watched. It was actually on Netflix, and I was like, wow. I'm like, they're talking about crypto and tech companies and all this kind of stuff. So I started really, really, really diving into everything. And I'll tell you, I invested into all these time. As time went on, I learned about numerous quality tokens, the metaverse and all the utilities that you can get. And then the NFT projects just kind of came, and I started to learn about it. And then I did a really huge deep dive. And, then I just was like, there's a really fantastic and, reputable companies and projects in Web3. And there's so many opportunities. And, the blockchain tech and everything is going to be the future. It is.
Entertainment guest visits are powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary. Visit sacredmeds.com.
So many years and nightmares.
you picture that, right? And the room is like, 60 people in this room. You know that 60 people are in that room. The band is called Worse. The song is called Charles Montgomery. It's new to the podcast. Now, as mentioned earlier on, that's Matt Wood from Pride Tiger and his new band, or I guess one of the new bands, because he also does Good Is Gone, which is a different flavor entirely from what you just heard. But Worse, and they are playing with La Chinga. So next month at the Blue Light Studio, East Vancouver. I can't tell you how much I love doing shows there. And it's not because I do shows there. The room is just like, I don't know, cheesy, but it's magical. Like the aura and the vibe of that room, of the Toddcast Blue Light Sessions, is unlike anything that you get here in Vancouver. So you get the interview, right? And I'd like to think that I do an okay job of hosting these shows, but it's truly the stories that you get to hear that they share. And it's usually two bands, right? We've done like one band doing both sets in the past, but it's usually two bands, 2 45-minute sets, the interview, but it's the interaction too. It's the laughing and singing and clapping along and that sort of stuff, right? It's super fun nights. And this one, as you just heard, that Worse song, Charles Montgomery, it's going to get loud. Okay. So next month at the last Friday of the month, again, what is it? It's November 24th, right? Yeah. So love both bands. Good guys, great players. Looking forward to next week as well. So it's the second part of our best of the Last Little While, and you'll get highlights from visits from 9 more guests. We did 9 this week, 9 next week as well, including fabulous Ms. Maisel actor Austin Basis. BC Lions wide receiver Lucky Whitehead was a fantastic interview. That was a great chat. You'll hear some of that. And Seven Dust singer LaJawn Witherspoon, who here talks about Hit Parader, naming him the 35th best metal vocalist all time.
I think that I used to be 66, bitch. So listen, it's a true story. Before they did that, it was 66. And so Yoshi, our head of security, and I remember Reagan, my drum tech, for years and years, whenever I would come in or walk in, they'd be like, 66, bitch, because that was the numbers.
Yeah.
So 35 is great. And let me tell you, Mark, just to answer that question, just for me to be anywhere on that list with so many incredible, amazing artists, it's just amazing for me. I take that I thank you very much, 35, 100 or whatever. I'm just glad that I'm on that list. It would be cool if they want to keep going and put me higher and higher. Hey, I'm fine with that too. Just don't take me off.
Maybe Truth Killer push that up. Who would you put like top 5? And I know you probably,
I don't know.
This might change every day. But
I'll put Miles up there, like Maynard. I have to think about that for a while. There's some more, there's definitely some more up there, but it's hard. There's so many great singers out there. I love Lizzie's voice, Lizzie Hale. I think she's great. Top ranger.
She's been on here 3-4 times on this podcast.
Yeah, she's my sister. I think she's a top ranger up there.
Next week, LaJawn Witherspoon of Seven Dust with 8 other guests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, big thanks to this week's guests as well, as we continue to shine a light on our visits long after the fact. Now, here's what I'm saying. When you think about my time in broadcasting, it makes sense, right? Most of it was a radio DJ, so it's not unusual how we promote and build these podcasts, right? We look at each podcast, every interview, every promotion, every live show as songs. They're songs in our world, in our library. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. We have a lot of stuff. And then when we play the hell out of the songs on the podcast and online in our socials, right? It's simple, really, when you think about it. And I'm thankful that you're along for the ride, I guess is what I'm trying to say. My name is Todd Hancock. I think we're going to wrap this one up. Episode 315, not bad, right? Considering I was shooting for about 50. Like, I thought if I could get between 20 and 50, we'll go from there. These best of weeks are a great way to hear untold stories, personal journeys, extraordinary guests, of course, memorable moments. And for now, if you like what you heard, follow along. It's that simple, right? Tell your friends about us. That's a huge way that we grow. We're part of the Realm Network in New York City, realm.fm, if you want to check them out online. Honored to be a part of what they're cooking up, because it's simply a wonderful Wonderful network. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Comment, of course, rate the podcast. All that stuff helps out. Search out Toddcast Podcast. Massive thanks to all of our excellent sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites, of course, at toddhancock.ca. As always, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day, $300 a month. Contact info at the homepage. Hit me up. Maybe we'll have a beer, have a pop, have a coffee, see what's up. And as always, if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission, right? Like make a little scratch listening to the podcast, help us keep on keeping on at the same time. It's a win-win. So till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun. Play hard. Most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, zero tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 5-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
For 8 years, we've been asking the same question over and over again. How did this happen? My name's Mandy.
And I'm Melissa, and we're the hosts of Moms and Mysteries, the true crime podcast with over 55 million downloads.
We're two Florida moms who are obsessed with mysteries. Each week, we do deep dives into fascinating true crime stories.
We cover everything from infamous cases like Casey Anthony
to the bizarre and complex crimes right here in our home state, like the shocking murder of FSU professor Dan Markell.
We bring you the facts, but with warmth and wit you'd only get from two friends who have been hooked on mysteries since childhood.
Join us for new episodes of Moms and Mysteries every Tuesday and Thursday.
Listen to Moms and Mysteries on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.